The follow-up is simple. Ask a question, listen to the answer, then follow up. I'm your host, Noah Kozlov. Enjoy.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of The Follow-Up. I'm Eden, and this is my dad, Noah, and every week we sit on my bed and have a different conversation about something I want to talk about. And this week we're going to talk about my favorite things in school.
All right. So, what are your favorite things?
Well, I'll start with subjects that aren't special, which are music, science, math, not math,
No.
Music, science, gym, and art.
Meaning specials, meaning what?
Specials, like special activities.
Like that you don't have every day.
Right.
Right. So that's already different from when I was in school.
Okay,
Because we
yeah.
had science every day.
Well, yeah. But let's get to main activities. in
Okay.
school. So mine, I have a top two, but one is I like a little more than the other. Reading and math.
Okay.
Can you guess which one I like?
Reading.
Yes.
All right. So what do you do in school for reading?
Well, this might be hard to explain because we do a lot of things. I'll tell about what we're doing right now in school.
Okay.
So this will come out on the 13th.
Monday,
but we
right?
were doing this week, so the week before.
It's past week.
Yes, this past week. So we're reading nonfiction, and we made book club groups that we're reading, and we're reading about different topics that we're interested in, and then we talk about the books.
How do you come up with the topic?
We don't come with topics, but we had written down a few things on Post-its that we're interested in, and that's how they created the groups.
Oh, so what did you write down on your Post-it? Do you remember?
I think I wrote biographies, volcanoes. I'm interested in this because I've read a lot of books about them.
Speak up.
Because I've read a lot of books about volcanoes.
Volcanoes. Okay.
But I forget the other one.
Okay. So then your group was what?
I'm reading about the civil rights movement this week.
Got it.
So.
Everybody. So yeah, take us.
Yeah.
Does everyone read the same book or different books?
But we have a bin.
Okay.
And there are books in there about our topic.
How many books are in there?
I don't know.
But a bunch that everyone can read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody at least has one.
So then everybody then discusses what they learned in the book or questions that they have?
Yeah, we discuss what we learned. We ask questions to other people. There's someone who gets the conversation going.
What's that person called?
The facilitator, which is me.
Oh, nice.
And then my friend that's in my group is the questioner.
Oh, I understand. So the other person's supposed to be asking questions. You kind of facilitate, make sure the conversation's moving along.
And then there's a materials manager, which gets the materials.
Mm-hmm.
So charts. There's the chart that sentence starts to ask things and stuff.
Okay.
And also we have to get our bins with the books to read.
Right. So is this a So I like the whole book club idea.
One more thing. And there's the substitute. So if someone can't do their job, say the materials manager, then the substitute does the materials manager's job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, come closer to me. So what is the? So are you going to continue with this topic next week, or do you get a new topic?
I think we get a new topic every week. I don't think I know.
I
think I have a new topic next week.
Was this the first time that you had done a book club type thing where you guys are discussing things with each other?
In school, yeah.
So usually you're kind of reading on your own and writing things down, or do you usually
jotting. That's what we learn.
Jotting. So
jotting is if you say I learn a little fact, you jot down fact. I would jot down that fact on a Post-it, and I would stick it in my friend in my book. And then when it was time to share, I would share what I had learned, and then other people can add on to my ideas if they have it.
Okay, yeah, that's helpful.
Right.
That's helpful.
To have things.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share something that maybe it's a fact, or maybe it's an idea, or something you wondered or thought about or felt when you were reading about the civil rights movement?
Well, I am I wonder, how this all started. Why did it start? Well, I know why, but why would people think that? The idea. Why would people think what the civil rights movement is.
Like, okay, so you're saying, like, why did we even get to that
Right.
point? Like, why were
how-
blacks
like,
treated the way they
right,
were
like,
to begin with?
Why did people not like black? I don't know, like,
Yeah.
what that is. There's
Right.
another person with other color skin.
Right, exactly.
Period. Why blacks?
Right,
like,
exactly. So it goes
blacks
all,
could not like white, so I don't get the point of them not liking them. So everybody's just like different skin colors.
right, exactly.
That's the point I know.
Yeah, so it goes all the way back to slavery, etc. So you'll continue to read about that,
Right.
but I'm glad that stuck out. That your thought was, it's just crazy that we even had to have this movement. But okay,
Right.
so maybe we'll do a longer conversation about that
Okay.
another time. Okay, so what about math?
Okay, in math, okay, I love this part. We get to be, since we have a bigger class and we have 2 groups,
How many kids are in your class?
23. So when we break up the groups, and I'm in across the hall, we have our science teacher's room where she does things. So we go in there and we have like this whole math center. It's really cool. So we have tables, we have stools, and then we have a whiteboard, like an easel,
Mhm.
where our teacher does things.
So you have 2
Right.
teachers in your classroom, so
2 teachers.
you guys can split up into groups. Okay.
Right, and this is one of my favorite things, is there's really comfy cushions that we get to sit on.
On the floor or on the
floor.
stools?
No, on the floor.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the cushions. We have a whole math center of tools, materials, charts, games.
What kind of games?
We have war,
Oh yeah, the card
but
game.
in addition, so like, if I got an ace, which is 14, and I got a 7, so I do 14 plus 7 equals 21.
Mhm.
Right. So that's
Oh,
what I do.
okay,
And
so
then
you
I would
do-
get the cards, and I would like and
Against
but-
the other person.
Yeah,
Got it.
but then you would see at the end of the card when you ran out who has more. From their
Do you have
stack.
a time limit on, like, all right, you've got to figure out this. You've got these 2 cards. You've got to figure out in a snap or.
No.
Oh. Okay.
We don't have a time limit
Understand.
because if you didn't know, that wouldn't be fair. If you could figure it out in like 2 seconds.
Well, I thought maybe like if you had, you get 5 seconds to figure out the math equation, and then if you can't figure it out, then the person takes your cards no matter what. So
That's
that would,
cool.
yeah. So maybe that would just create a greater sense of urgency
Like,
to figure it out.
right.
Like, keep things moving a little bit.
Yeah, but I have a better idea. If you didn't know, the other person would have to solve it in their head while you were doing it. But then they could say it out loud if you didn't know it, and then they would get to see the card.
yeah.
So it's still addition for them doing math.
Right. I like that idea.
I so solve them.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Okay, so
Yeah.
reading and math are your favorites.
Yes, my favorites.
What about from the specials?
From the specials, I like science. I think science is very interesting. We're studying like rocks and waves of like I think it's like crashing onto things and why things are like disappearing from things.
Yeah, do you remember what that's called? We talked about this on vacation, like
God.
how I don't think you've learned it yet.
No.
Like when waves
Also, they make rocks.
and wind when they impact how the landscape looks, like the rocks and the shoreline.
It's not that what we're.
It's called what's that?
Rock-
Not eruption. That's a volcano.
Right.
Erosion.
Erosion.
Yeah.
And that makes like.
Erosion. Erosion. So
But we're
that's what
thinking
changes
about-
the landscape.
That's not what we're doing. We're thinking about what we did on most of our worksheets is when the waves are crashed, like say there's a mountain. The waves are crashing up on this mountain,
Mhm.
but like half a meter falls off. Why did this happen? It's because the waves are crashing on and rocks are falling off
Yeah, over time.
because the waves are so strong. So that's why half a meter got cut off there.
Yeah. Mhm. Right. It's not like you could have like on a cliff,
Right.
okay, or a plateau. You could have say there's a house up there, okay,
Yeah.
and but the waves keep crashing into the mountain, so it keeps looking like the house is moving closer and closer to the cliff. The house isn't moving. It's the waves that are
Right.
and the wind that are hitting against the rocks that are cutting away at the rock, so it looks like the house is moving closer to the edge. But the house isn't moving.
Right.
Yeah, the
It's
buildings aren't moving. The flagpole's not moving. Just everything's cutting into the side.
Right.
Yeah. You like gym?
Yeah, I like gym also. I
you,
like
really
gym.
went, you really went up there.
Yeah, I like gym also.
What kind of things do you guys do in gym? 'Cause that was always my favorite.
I like science, but
Yeah,
I like, but that you didn't like probably like that. It's for your kid. It wasn't like carded as a special because you had it every day.
For science?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, gym, we're doing like throwing activities, rolling activities. Well, we were doing rolling, and we did underhand throwing, and then we did and now we're doing overhand throwing, and then last time we were catching,
What are you throwing and catching?
like squish balls.
Oh.
But they're like still like balls, but it's not like they're like the small squishy balls.
Right. They're sizable
They're
enough. Okay.
sizable, like yeah, like
Yeah, so big, small enough that you could hold in one hand and
Yeah.
throw it overhand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you gotta like hit targets and things?
not usually hitting targets, but we're throwing to like partners.
Oh, okay.
We were playing the game where it's like there's like a line and each partner is like standing here. You have to catch it, but then once both partners catch it, you stand back and then
Oh,
you
you
have to
keep
like
them back.
keep moving.
Wait, we did some things like that when we did the
hard.
beanbag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then it takes different amount of touch
Right.
going. Well, you don't. Then sometimes you throw it hard. Sometimes you don't.
And then sometimes you
Sometimes you
just
throw
go like this.
underhand. Right. You want to make sure you give someone a target.
Right.
Oh, well, I'm glad you.
This is my target. I'm an alligator, not the cat.
Should I ask you what are your least favorite parts of school?
Oh no.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're liking school.
What did you like most about school?
Oh.
Like, what were some of your favorite things?
Good question. Gym.
Gym? What did you like so much about gym?
We got to play
I know you like sports.
basketball a lot. We got to play floor hockey. We got to play soccer.
What about, like, other activities? Like, in school, like, math was, like, one of mine. Like, that's, like, an activity.
Recess I liked a lot.
Well, that's not, like, a learning. You didn't learn in recess.
Sure, you learn how. You learn how.
but
I
you don't
understand
learn
recess.
from, like, a teacher.
Yeah. I really liked math when I was in elementary school. I really, really liked math. And I really liked geography. So learning.
Did you like reading?
Not as much. But I liked reading. It was different. Like I liked reading what I wanted to read. I didn't like being told, okay, now you have to read about this, you have to read about this. I liked reading the sports page and Matt Christopher books.
I like reading like what I want to read, but
But you like reading about a lot of different things. You have a wider interest than I did
a lot of things.
at that age. But I liked geography, learning all the where
Shapes.
things were around the country. No, that's geometry.
Yeah,
Is shapes.
geography.
Right, geography is study of maps and like learning where different places
States.
are, all the states, learning where different places
Do
are
you
around
learn
the country.
about the states?
Yeah, and learning about different countries and cities and landmarks, things like that.
I like learning about states.
Yeah, I enjoyed that because you guys haven't done a whole lot of geography yet. No, but I liked that part of
The
social
only new
studies.
thing that we have in school that I don't think I've had that much is social studies.
Right, which is part of
Geography.
which you'll get into more geography.
We were
so
learning
you're learning
about
about what?
different we were learning our last unit was rural, suburban, and urban.
Okay, so we live in a what?
In an urban community.
Urban community, right? We live in a city. Grandma and grandpa live in
a
suburban, right? And what's an example of a rural community?
Is a place that has a lot of land and
Mm-hmm.
not that many things near it.
Right, so like the country.
Country.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Farms, things like that.
Like I feel like when we were in until like this, we were in Vermont. Like
Mm-hmm.
when we were driving there was like when we entered Vermont, there was so much like farmland, but then there was like a little city, and then 2 minutes later you're like back out.
Back in the farms.
In
Yeah, it's like
the
little towns.
Like
Mhm.
little towns.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm glad you're enjoying school.
Mhm.
I love you.
Love you.